All right, now we have a special treat. The Detroit Jazz Festival All-Star Generations Band came to our studios to perform Planetary Prince by composer Cameron Graves. Here are Chris Collins, Marion Hayden, Alan Denard, Ian Blunden, and Tariq Gardner. That, of course, was fantastic and a great preview of what you'll be able to see at the Detroit Jazz Festival. I'm here with Chris Collins, who was on tenor sax. Marion Hayden was on bass, and Jasmin DeForrest is here from Quicken Loans. Marion, I want to give you a chance to talk about Stanley Clark, who is the featured artist in residence this year. I am a huge fan of the bass, and am trying to learn myself how to play. One of the things I love about it, though, is it's this incredible versatility that it has, and I'm not sure people really understand. They think, well, that's the bottom of all of the music, but it can do many, many different things.
Oh, it can do so much. I mean, my concept for the bass is that generally it's the lead from behind instrument.
I like
it
that.
Really is.
Yeah.
It really is very much the the harmonic rudder of any band.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people are not noticing that, but people there in the band knows that, because you notice if the bass goes off the rails, the band
Everything
goes
else
off the
falls
rails.
apart
So
too.
that's how you know where the rudder is.
That's right.
But as of course, Stanley is someone who just is able to be so broadly conceptual and creative about his approach to playing the bass. I first probably heard him first when he made probably his biggest splash with Chick Corea, Chick Corea's band Return to Forever. And but of course he had a lot of things that he was doing prior to that time. But at that time, I just found that I felt that he was revolutionary in terms of his approach. I thought that he was very bass forward. And as a matter of fact, my band Straight Ahead actually opened a couple shows for Stanley. And the last show that we were on, he actually had a bass player with him.
Oh, is that right?
Which I liked, which said to me that he not only was he planning on being foundational, but he also was going to be playing the bass as a soloist.
As a soloist,
yeah, he was exploring more his option as a soloist. And as I like to say, everybody needs a bass player, even a bass player.
Yeah, even a bass player, right? That's right. In fact, the commercial that I saw a week ago for the festival featured Stanley and playing in the kind of soloist role. I mean, showing that real broad versatility of that instrument. So.
Yeah, you know, he's in addition to being a great bass player, but he's an incredible melodic player and the way he develops as a soloist. But we're also going to hear at the festival, you know, his compositions in different formats, and Stanley Clarke as conductor of orchestra with his final piece, the tribute to Boys in the Hood. So we're going to see a lot of sides of this incredible musician.
Yeah. Talk about the year-round component of the Jazz Festival and how important that is.
Super important. The Jazz Festival Foundation, which came about after Gretchen Relade, you know, really came into the picture, it gave a structural foundation to everything we do, including the Jazz Festival itself, which is our signature event. But throughout the year, in addition to all of the rehearsals and commissions and international exchanges that we're doing in preparation for the signature event itself, we're also doing a myriad of educational events, community outreach, some small club things, a lot of competitions. You'll see the winners at the festival, and myself, just a lot of engagement, a lot of conversation with musicians in our community and around the world to understand what the Cats are doing and what would be special this coming year for the festival. And certainly the 40th this year, you're going to see the result of a lot of those year-round things and a lot of those long conversations with great artists.
Yeah, and you guys are also involved in that year-round.
Yeah, and it's one of the reasons why we support the Jazz Festival. I often say, you know, a lot of times people consider sponsorships as you just cut a check, the organization pays for the event or program, but with the Jazz Festival and the Jazz Festival Foundation, we receive our ROI over and over again. Yeah. Education is very important to us, and as Chris just mentioned, they're doing a lot of times free educational programming. They're going back into Detroit public schools and reaching out to the students in the band, members of those, some of which who performed last year. And this year we have Cameron Graves, who is the featured artist of our Untitled series, which is presented by Quicken Loans, performing with some of the alumni bands. So we love the fact that there's year-round educational opportunities, year-round educational programming, opportunities for emerging musicians to connect with legends and icons. Even this cool cat over here, Chris, to provide mentorship, to learn and to develop. And so it's one of the backbone reasons why we support the Jazz Festival, because it's not just the festival, it's not just Labor Day weekend, it's year round.
And that legacy, passing that legacy on to that next generation, I know is something you think about all the time, Chris.
Incredibly important, and it's every level of musician. It's passing it on to our audiences and to the artists. You know, it's an education for all of us every moment. And you know, some of the special projects, like I mentioned, the competitions, you'll see the results of those, and often the results of those things turn out to be artists that go on to make big names for themselves in the music world. So it's working. We're supporting new artists. We're supporting new careers, and the programs are really bringing it together. And you know, having incredible people like Marion Hayden in our community, who she does a lot of the international exchange programs with us in Japan and Panama and whatnot, makes it a community. It's a family effort, and you feel that at our Jazz Festival. You feel the result of it all year round, and the youth feel it, our audiences feel it, and I know the trust we've developed with artists like Chick Corea and Stanley Clarke, they feel it.
Yeah. I am looking forward to the entire festival, but I also have to say that Macy Gray being part of it, which is, one of those kind of surprising, not everybody knows that Macy Gray has a great jazz album and is really interested in this kind of thing. So
First time I heard her, what a voice.
It is unbelievable,
And then when
right?
she applied for, I heard her do Duke Ellington one night, and it blew me away years ago.
Yeah.
And yet, in addition, we have to mention there's the simulcast on Sunday night.
on Detroit Public Television.
At 8 o'clock, the only one we do, right? And WRCJ as well. And it's part of the Homecoming series, the great Dee Dee Bridgewater.
Yeah, right. Of
With the
course.
New Orleans Jazz Orchestra, the North American premiere of that particular music. She's incredibly special, and that performance is going to be something to behold.
Yeah, she blew it out at the Democratic presidential debates.
Yes,
didn't
she
she?
did.
That was unbelievable,
I was there.
right?
She was amazing, amazing. It was
All right,
beautiful.
well, congratulations on 40 years, and we will
Thank you.
see you Labor Day weekend.
I'll look for you.
Yes.
Yeah.